Seriously, he was shit in that. He was. Come on.
Well, it wasn't a great film.
Because it had Kevin fucking Costner in it.
Oh, no. One person does not make a film. Come on. You can't do that.
One person can ruin a film. One person can. And Kevin Costner has got a perfect track record. He has fucked every film he's been in. The man can't act.
Well, he's supposed to be playing a guy who basically doesn't care. It's right, it's wrong. That's
We were
it.
assuming that. We wouldn't know because he has no emotion whatsoever. None. Absolutely none.
Tell us what you think about the film, Paul.
Tell you what I think of Kevin bloody Costner.
I asked about the film.
Oh, look, the film was okay. It was okay.
It's a different view of what happened between Bonnie and Clyde, isn't it? Other films of Bonnie and Clyde have been looking at them as heroes, etc. This is the other way around.
Yes, it was looking at it from the police version and what they did. And look, Bonnie and Clyde are a little bit, I tend to think Bonnie and Clyde are a little bit America's Ned Kelly.
That's what I was totally thinking that.
Yes. There's quite a group of people who think that Bonnie and Clyde, take from the rich and give to, themselves. And and Ned Kelly was to a greater extent the same. Although a lot of people say, oh yes, but he also gave to other people, which he did, but he did it for perfectly selfish reasons.
Oh yes. You look after me. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
He was creating his own network, which these guys were doing too. But, of course, the average Joe Blow will always...
It's like, they're sticking it to the man.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's the depression.
Yeah,
It is the depression. And everybody's feeling the pain.
I have to admit something. After I watched this film, I actually went, I didn't realise... I knew it was still... I know in the late 20s, early 30s, there was a depression in America. But I went, oh my gosh, I didn't realise it had extended that far, that long. And
the only thing that stopped the depression was the Second World War.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
But as in, I was rather shocked, and I went, oh well, actually, in the South, it would have been a lot harder than it would have been in the North anyway for the depression.
I mean,
so it was very interesting.
The American Depression was kind of like, it started in 1929 when the stock market crashed and it went through the floorboards. And in those days, although it's getting a lot more like what it was then, now, like in the 80s and the 90s, and when the GFC came through in 2008, I think.
I don't know the exact date.
I think it was. Obama had only just been elected, sort of thing, and the stock market had dived and everything collapsed.
Took a plummet,
Yep, and everything went, belly up. We're only getting out of that now. We're only just climbing out of that now. The whole world, everybody's been in deficit pretty well, sort of thing. Now, the first 3 or 4 years are always the worst of any crash, and that was the same for the Great Depression. And in those days, and I have to say, this film did that well. It showed the absolute poverty of the common man.
It did a really good job of that.
Very well, yeah. And when they went to Oklahoma in particular, because what happened, not only did they have the depression, then they also had quite a bad drought, and all the topsoil in Oklahoma blew away, and it was called the Oklahoma Dust Bowl. And it basically farmers just had to walk off the farms, Thousands of farmers lost their livelihood, sort of thing. And they went everywhere else in America, mainly to California, where they were just labelled Okies. That's what they were called. Okay. And they were treated like second-class citizens. They were treated terribly.
I just noticed, as they were driving around, they were entering shanty towns. I thought, oh my gosh. I actually had to go back and have a bit of a read-up.
Yep.
Because I thought this is supposed to be 1934, and I went, oh, well, actually, it is pre-World War II, so it still would have been like that, especially in the South area.
Smack in the middle of the grip of the Depression. Yep. It's at its nadir.
But shows that pretty well.
It does. It was a terrible time.
And it was interesting having a film where you're not actually seeing from Bonnie and Clyde's view, where every other Bonnie and Clyde film has been from their point of view. So because they were robbing from banks for the most part, and it was the banks that had foreclosed an awful lot of people and their farms. That's why everyone was cheering.
That's why they had so much support from the ground, and they were given so much.
But still showed that in this film, which was really interesting.
They did. Yeah. They were supported completely by friends, family, anybody who could help them out, sort of thing. But they were brutal animals.
Well, actually, I was reading up on a few things, and some historians said, "Oh, look, this film isn't quite right. There's no proof Bonnie ever actually shot anyone. They only did these many deaths." But I thought, well, do you know what? It's actually shot in a way that's really interesting and just gives it's a story. It's not supposed to be historical accuracy. They're filming it for a storyline sort of thing.
Yep.
So I don't know. I actually thought it was a fairly good storyline, just looking at it the other way.
Look, the storyline was good. Shame about Kevin Costner. It's a complete shame. What the fuck were they thinking? Look, I'm sure there's people. I don't get it. I don't. It's just like Cary bloody
Grant.
There is a group of people out there that seem to like this kind of blockheaded Neanderthal knuckle dragging crap that a certain type of guy, is able to do. And Cary Grant was that, and Kevin Costner is a complete, numpty. But like he's a complete interchangeable with Cary Grant. I see this too in the same kind of viewpoint. Yeah.
So did that really damage the film for you?
When it first started and I realised that I was going to be watching Kevin Costner for the next 2 hours and I said several bad things against your name, it has to be true. I stopped it. I
just
got
laughed
another
that you
drink.
didn't even catch on. When I suggested it last week, I thought he's going to say no.
It's Kevin fucking Costner. No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I did.
Yeah, I know. And I sat down and when he came up and went, oh, motherfucker. So I went off to the fridge, poured myself a large stiff drink, and I said, all right, fine. I'll watch this crap. That's fine. I'll be the man. It's fine. So I sat and I watched it. And yes, I feel fully justified in maintaining my argument against his acting ability.
Okay,
all right. Shit. He is shit.
So what did you think about the whole entire film, though?
Look, I think it was generally okay. It was a little slow. I mean, you could argue that this film is nothing more than watching two old men in an old car driving 30 kilometres down country roads. There was a lot of that.
I assume there was supposed to be a lot of them assessing how they feel, but again, because Kevin Costner's character is black and white, you don't get any of that. Don't look at me like that. And
black and white. Well, that's a generous interpretation.
And Woody Harrelson's character, he does say a lot, but he's always just following him along. So. Yes.
And look, Woody Harrelson's character was a complex, interesting character.
But I don't think he got to delve into it very much.
No, because who was with him? No, come on, who was with him?
I know. I'm just saying that you could see that he was hurting a lot, but he never got to...
No, because he was with Kevin Costner.
He never got to go through that.
Bad choice of friends. Anyway, look...
When you've got no friends, your choices are limited.
Woody Harrelson carried that film. I picked up on what you said. That's fine, arsehole.
No, he did an excellent job. And people go, oh, it's just like his other... Was it True Detective? What was the other film he did?
Who?
Where is it? Woody Harrelson. Where is it? Police officer. Supposedly the characters were very identical.
I've never seen it.
I know, but I actually don't mind him in this role. I think he plays it well, and therefore
it's all right. He's always good.
I can't say he's always good because I haven't seen him in everything.
Planet of the Apes, he was, albeit he stole from somebody else, I feel, but he still did a good job of it.
Oh, yeah, he did a good job.
He is an excellent actor.
Yeah, no.
I've got nothing but good praise for the man.
Well, I haven't seen him in all of his stuff, but everything I've seen him in, he's been good.
I've only seen Kevin Costner play Kevin Costner. And, the problem is, how sometimes that's a good thing? Like Martin, the guy who played The Hobbit and The Office.
Freeman.
Martin Freeman. He plays himself essentially in various different situations.
Oh, but he can change it to suit the character.
He does change it up a bit. But by and large, you like the guy. Clint Eastwood's another guy.
I've seen him in a film where he's supposed to be the evil guy, and I thought he didn't do a good enough job in it.
Clint Eastwood's the same.
Yeah.
Plays a guy who's hard as nails. Probably because Clint Eastwood is as hard as nails. Sean Connery, again, doesn't even bother to change the accent.
He's charismatic.
He can play an Eskimo, he could play an Eskimo who would come out with a Scottish accent. He doesn't bother to change his delivery ever.
But he doesn't need to because that's
because
what the films he does.
we all like it because we look at him and go.
Some actors and actresses are really good at so many different roles. Others are only good. Oh, that's not true. From what I've gathered, they're specifically great in certain types of roles.
Kevin Costner plays Kevin Costner. and he does a good job of playing Kevin Costner because he's had a lot of experience of it. But unfortunately, the man is a clod. He's just a clod. He's uninteresting. He's unemotional.
I'm going to get the hiccups.
I'm sorry, but he's got nothing going for him as a human being. As a human being, would you want to sit there and have a conversation with the man in the pub? The answer is a very quick no.
Well, I don't know what he's like in real life.
You know exactly what he's like because he's unable to change from when he's in front of the camera.
Oh, man. I was having giggles last week. I thought, Paul's going to catch me out on this.
I was ropeable. I was fucking ropeable. I was sitting through the whole thing. And I'm trying to maintain some sort of equilibrium.
But you liked the film, yeah?
Hey?
You liked the film?
No, because it was saved by an excellent job
But that's what I mean. So
Woody
you liked it.
Harrelson.
The storyline worked quite well.
I thought it was
the
cruel.
inverse of Bonnie and Clyde.
I thought it was very cruel what you did.
No, but I'm ignoring Kevin Costner. Did you like the film?
You can't.
I can. I've just gone, what did you think of the whole package, Paul?
Well,
Did you like when they were driving around, chasing them, and there was just like a tornado of dirt, and when they stopped, they're like totally gone, and
yes,
just tracks.
that was quite good. That was
fun. Was a good scene.
Yes, because Kevin Costner didn't have to act any. All he had to do was drive the car. That was fine. When he was sitting outside of the poker room, and the guys were sitting there playing their cards, and Woody Harrelson stole the show again.
He's doing all the dialogue.
Doing the whole dialogue. And fuckheads out the front of the porch, bloody just sitting there, just glaring off into the distance. I thought that worked well. As well, he should be kept silent and given no lines because he can't deliver them.
I don't know whether it was supposed to be his character or not, but it was all Woody Harrelson doing everything.
He's an absolute lump of wood. He really is. I'm sorry. I know I sound like I'm going on all the time. But there are certain guys who should not have ever got as popular as what they did. He was lucky when he got Waterworld because he's just a younger guy from the Waterworld. You can take that character and put him in this character
like
and they're the
Waterworld.
same.
I've seen Waterworld and I didn't really like it.
It was an expensive
The Postman.
film.
I don't like
The Postman is problematic. The Postman is problematic.
No.
I'm going to inflict that on you.
No, you are not.
Yes, I am. It's
you do
coming.
that to me.
It's coming.
And the big T word comes out.
What T word?
Titanic. That's right. You've got your ammo. I've got mine.
Wow. Wow. Really? Are you going to do that to me if you...
Are you going to do that to me?
You won't watch Postman. Have you seen Postman?
I have seen The Postman.
And never again.
Nope. I know. If you make me do it, you just have to watch Titanic.
Oh, jeez. No, I can't.
I see your Kevin Costner.
All right, that's fine.
And I raise you a ship.
You know what, Pip? You win. You win. I'll say it right now. You win. You've had 2 big wins today. Well done.
Thank you.
All right,
I'm enjoying myself. This is great.
So, Kevin Costner, dickhead.
So what star rating do you give this film, Paul?
Really enjoyed Woody Harrelson's performance. I thought the film was well done. I think most people would be able to sit and watch this and enjoy this.
You mean people who don't hate Kevin Costner?
I realise
that's what I'm using, the H word now.
No, I realise I have certain prejudices against the man. I am honest enough to admit that. And so consequently, I think I'll give this a very low 7. It just scrapes in at 7.
Okay.
I like the time period. I've always liked the Depression as a time period for stuff. There's been some great stuff that's come out in the 30s. And it was well shot. There was a good story. Everything was done well. Casting was an issue. But by and large, I love the Southern, the honest coppers at the bottom in Louisiana at the end. And when they put the pitchfork down.
That was a good scene.
Oh, it was a great scene. There was quite a few good scenes. And you know what? They all had Woody Harrelson in them.
All the best scenes.